Okay, all, I am going to review now the special weapons upgrade set for the Horus Heresy. One thing that I'm finding quite amazing about this 60 weapons here is that, unlike with a lot of things from Games Workshop, so say if they just made a set of special weapon marines, this is very different because these are designed to upgrade a pre-existing set. So, for example, I've got some Mark IIIs here, and you could get your Mark VIs from the Horus Heresy box set and then look at upgrading them. Yeah, what I'm finding interesting about this is it says it's got 60 weapons, and because this is an upgrade sprue, I'm really curious to see if what you actually have the ability to do is kit out 60 Marines, or have they done it in such a way that you can only say kit out 20 Marines and then the rest of the weapons are pretty useless? So let's find out what the reality is here, because that's, I think, what we need to know, isn't it, so we can make informed decisions about our purchases. The weapons themselves are quite a wide range. So you've got 10 melter guns, 10 plasma guns, 10 Volkite Cavaliers, 10 Volkite Chargers, 10 Flamers, and 10 rotor cannons. So basically, these are all special weapons. The whole unit is just designed to be carrying a weapon designed for a very particular job. Now, I think if you were going with a generic squad, so I think the baseline, it's like they either have flamers or I think it's the Volkite, one of the Volkite guns, and that's very simple. You would just set them up. However, each type of weapon has a purpose. It has a job to do within Warhammer, within the Horus Heresy. So I don't quite have the stat lines in front of me, but I do know certain things absolutely. So I know for a fact that a flamer is a short range weapon. I also know that if you collect a Salamander's army, that's really where you're probably going, just because it looks right to have that kind of weaponry. Now, what you've got to ask yourself though is, what do you need your special weapons squad to achieve? So we have things over here, like we have our plasma weaponry. Plasma weaponry is, powerful in the 40k in Horus Heresy, but it's hard to create, hard to maintain. But again, we do have different types of plasma gun on this sprue. I think there's 5 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're good at effectively knocking out medium armoured vehicles. So I think if you were fighting against an Imperial Army detachment, they're a great little thing to have. Moving on from there, though, you've got things like your melter guns, and I do like the way that these look, because as I said, there seems to be, or at least this is how it looks to me. I've got to say this right. It does look to me like there's slightly different variants of each weapon type. So, but then it's very hard to tell sometimes the difference between a plasma gun. This is the thing. I don't know what this is actually called, the Volkite Charger. That's quite interesting. If you just looked at it from the top, you'd mistake it for a plasma gun, but it's not. So again, I don't quite know what the stat lines are for these Volkite ones. But again, I think they're probably similar to plasma guns. They're probably targeted at maybe mid-level, maybe knocking out mid-level armour. But then you got things like your melter guns. Your melter guns are, of course, awesome. There's no other way to put it. They're designed to take out some big, heavy-duty things. If you need to get this up close to something like a Land Raider, if you've got a squad of 10 of these, there's a good chance that Land Raider is going to be slag by the end of the round. Other things on here, again, I'm kind of reviewing the kit, but I'm also kind of thinking about the weapons themselves. This looks like a small version of an assault cannon. So again, it's probably designed to mow down ranks and ranks of infantry more than anything else. So these special weapons are here to give you a bit of, flexibility within your units. Give yourself the ability to take out armor with a regular Space Marine squad. That's probably very useful as well if you're trying to stay away from too many vehicles and you prefer more troops in your force. Then again, having special weapon squads is a must. And in the end, if you've got 10 melter guns on a squad, a melter gun is just as likely to be, well, if it can wipe out a land raider, it's going to be able to take down things like any standard marine, plus potentially the Terminators. So the special weapons squads just have so many uses, and there's no doubt about it. They are there to provide a bit of weighty firepower to your normal troops, with the advantage as well that troops like this can, take hold of tactical points that need to be taken and held. So any major objectives. I like the way they look as well. I think they've got some nice design features. Other than the hand positions, I think they are, each weapon though is basically a copy of the last. So I don't think there's any major differences in the way that the weapons look. This means that they kind of can be a bit more universal, so they should be able to fit on the Mark 6, but I'm going to hope that they'll also fit on the Mark 3 tactical squads as well. There's not a lot I can say about this kind of kit, obviously, but what I am trying to work out, and I think this is one of the major things, and this is the question that I want to ask myself: are they universal? So basically, can I use them on the Mark III? Will they fit? That's obviously an interesting thing to find out as I go through the build later on. Another question that I've got for myself, and again, I think this is very important to look at: is it possible to get 60 Marines out of these 60 weapons? So this is where we kind of look at things like this. So according to this, you've got poses. So you've got pose 1 to 5 on the Mark 6 kit. There's also poses 1 to 5 on the Mark 3 kit. So again, there's a good chance that they're going to be adaptable for this box. What I'm interested in, and this is the key thing, and this is what I want to know. Well, I'll get there. I will. Will you get 60 troops out of it in total? So basically, if you've got 60 weapons here, do you genuinely have 60 potential special weapons troops? And I think it's good news, everyone, because looking at this, I can't see any reason why not. There's absolutely nothing to suggest here that this is anything other than straight onto the kit. So straight onto that Mark 6 kit. You can see here, flamer, plasma, melter gun. There's no additional parts to add to that. Then you've got the Volkite ones. Now, although they used part 32 in kind, if we head over to this sprue, you can see there's 10 of these 32s. So again, that should be great. That should be 5 per Volkite type. Again, the rotor cannon, it uses a part here, 33, but you definitely don't need to use them anywhere else. I think it's looking good. I think it's not a problem. We get all 60 options available to us. Now, here's the kind of little voice in my head. And I don't know whether or not I want to kind of go down this path, because I don't know whether or not it's going to cause me an unnecessary amount of work. Magnets. Could we magnetize them? Could we get a tiny little magnet in these handholds into the model, and could we literally swap and change? And again, it looks like we can. I honestly believe that that's possible. Whether or not I'm going to give myself that level of torture is another matter entirely. I don't know whether I want to go down that path. But it would just be such an interesting and not fun at all process to go through. I'll have to have a look at all my different magnets and see if my very tiny magnets could be threaded into this. But if it could be, we've effectively got, we might have the ability to have, say, just a single box of 20 and then swap them all over depending on the battle. So, yeah, I mean, that's it really. There's not much more I can say about this. I'm pleased that we do, by the look of it, genuinely get all 60 weapons potentially to go on our models. So if we have 60 tactical marines, we can have 60 special weapon marines, which is great, and that means you've got a lot of versatility. Could we magnetize them? Well, I'm pretty certain we can as well if we want to go down that path. Whether or not I want to cause myself that amount of torture at the moment is anyone's guess, but I don't think I could cope with that at the moment. But there we go. So that is our special weapons. So you get 2 sets, 5 of each on each sprue. They look good. I don't know if they actually will work on the Mark III tactical marines. I've just realised that now, that I'll have to check if the poses match up and they can actually come together. But beyond that, they look at, I'm really happy with them, and I'm really pleased that Games Workshop hasn't actually attempted to be cheap about this and make it so that you can only use 20 in total, by making sure that the arms, so because it uses the arms from the squad, it means you can actually use them all, and that's a very big positive thing for me. Okay then, so thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will be with you next time.